How goes it, everybody? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. Today's topic, I will be talking about something that's somewhat near and dear to my heart. Goes down to family. Um, and the reason why it talks about the power of family is I'm talking about the power of family is because, with today's crisis and uncertainty that's been going on due to the unfortunate COVID-19 situation, nothing is more important than being healthy. One is the first priority, and staying strong and keeping a good bond with your internal and external family members needs to become, you want to make sure that becomes priority number two for everyone within your family and your external family. Because at the end of the day, it's best at this time to just point this out. Get past all the drama, all the nonsense, put all this I know everything nonsense to the side. You got too much of that nowadays. Just because of Google doesn't make you know everything, because I know I don't. No one knows everything, and no one ever will know everything. I call myself a student in the game of life because I always have a thirst to obtain knowledge on a daily basis. Now, the main reason that I'm mentioning the power of family is because in families from the country of India, one thing is true. After a couple of decades/generations, Indian families have a monopoly on three specific industries and more. But these are the number ones, three ones that I'm going to point out, which is the hotel industry, 7-Elevens, convenience stores, subways, industry, all these specific industries and whatnot. And it's a good thing. Like I said, I'm not downing anybody for having a good monopoly and being smart in regards to putting your dollars together and purchasing businesses and getting equity out of those businesses to purchase more businesses. It's very smart. These are phenomenal, because these phenomena have basically occurred for a variety of reasons. But the biggest reason is because immigrants from India built a hospitality industry that their children and grandchildren have turned into great empires. That's real generational wealth right there. Once again, generational wealth doesn't start with a bunch of social media posts and hashtags, etc. It starts with thinking outside of the box, setting up assets, and ensuring that the future generations continuously plans not only for today, but definitely for tomorrow, and definitely for decades to come down the road. One thing is true, and that is, most of the people who are winning financially today is because they are not they only worked hard. They not only worked hard, but they knew that the value of ownership is something to truly value outside of the value of family. I will give you a great example that I took from an article that I read the other day. As new immigrants to the United States in the early 1970s, one individual, Jayati Patel, probably butchered his name, my apologies, slept very little. By day, he held a full-time job at the bank in San Francisco, California, and by night, he was basically running a city rundown district hotel known as Vincent Hotel, a property he actually acquired not long after moving to the United States. I have seen that throughout Indian culture. It's normal to have a job and run a brick and mortar business all at the same time. Heck, there's one gas station that I used to frequent often, and the owners were all cab drivers. It's about 4 owners. Okay, they all own this place, and they were thinking about opening up another one. Okay, once again, they create the business, they make sure it's successful, they borrow against the business to open up another one. It's the same. It's just like, in a sense, you think of it like flipping houses in real estate or whatnot. You buy one house, you take equity out of that house. You buy another house, you take equity out. House hack, etc. and so forth. You buy a house, you live in it for a year, and then you leave that house, you rent that house out, take equity out of it, buy another house, do the same thing all over again. Heck, there's, like I said, and people at this gas station would actually work various shifts to ensure that the gas station would run smoothly and efficiently. The old saying goes, teamwork makes the dream work. The story also states that Mr. Patel's sleepless nights paid off. By the 1980s, he and his 2 sons are running several motels and hotels within the state of California, as you see in the pictures over here. And it's actually pretty awesome, you know what I mean? And as you can see, these are people that aren't getting gentrified out of the state because You know, you have a lot of people getting gentrified out of places like New York, Washington, D.C., and California. But these people obviously don't look like they're going to get gentrified because there was a plan to have some sort of economic prosperity within the family. Not just a plan to just have a job and nothing else going on outside of the job. Because that's how you get gentrified out of any part of the United States nowadays, if you only have a job. It is what it is. You know, but I'll leave it at that. Some sort of generational wealth has to be talked about, period. Some sort of assets. You can be the best parent all day, every day, but if your child doesn't have anything to fall back on financially, then, you know, it is what it is. That's just my personal opinion. I'm off my soapbox about that. But anyways, back to the story at hand. And that's the beautiful thing about, like I said, the power of family. You know, could work out in so many ways. You know, and what is it now? For 4 years after unfortunately, Mr. Patel's death, his granddaughters are taking the family business forward. Okay, so it went from his kids now to his grandkids, and so the legacy lives on. Okay, and that is something to be very, very proud of, in my personal opinion. And I leave it at that. Now, the success of the Patels and his family mirrors the rise of Indian Americans in the United States of America's hotel industry, Subway, 7-Eleven, etc., and so forth. I remember when I was in college, there was a young lady who was because I went to school late. She was literally 22 years old, and she was running her own 7-Eleven. And this is in Manassas, Virginia. Okay, she was running her own 7-Eleven. She worked in 7-Eleven throughout high school. Her mom owned a 7-Eleven, and her mom was opening up another 7-Eleven, and she ran the 7-Eleven that her mom had within the family for the past 6 years and whatnot. Okay, and she was just going to school because, you know, we were both taking business classes at the same time. But this was a 22-year-old who was already knew how to run a business in a sense. Okay, that says a lot. But a lot of people don't realize that it's like it's a family. You see it a lot with a lot of people. Family businesses are the best businesses. Great example, if you remember that old show called Sweetie Pies and whatnot, that was a family-run business, and the mother created that business. She used to be a backup singer for Tina Turner, Ike and Tina Turner. She did well with her money and took her money back to St. Louis, where her money could be run a lot further, one, and then two, she created a business because her son actually went to jail, and she knew that he was never going to be able to get a decent job when he got out of prison. So she did the smart thing by creating a business, by creating a job for her son. And when and a lot of parents find that a lot of pride in the fact that they can create a job for their children and make college and everything else an option and not a must. So just my personal opinion on that one. All right. So about half of the country's motels within the United States are actually run by Indian Americans. Awesome. The majority of these owners are from Gujarat state, which is an industrial Patel community, leading them to be jokingly referred to as Patel Motor Cartel. Patel Motel Cartel. I think that's really funny, to be in my honest opinion. Okay. But anyways, then when one truly analyzes this, you know, and the profits opens up the doors for opportunities to buy into more businesses. That's another thing to think. Like I said, a business can be just like when people think about equity, especially a lot of working people, to think about equity from a house, but no one ever really talks about the equity from a business. You know what I mean? And one thing I can say for sure, I've been to multiple banks where I've seen people when I'm trying to get a loan for a house, you know, for a rental property. I'm seeing people that are in there that are actually borrowing against their business so that they can either do renovations to their business or they can start another business. You know, because I'll just walk up and talk to people. I say, hey, you getting a loan? I say, yeah, I'm getting a loan for my specific business. We're actually thinking of opening up another shop in this different state, this different county. We need to borrow this money from the bank in order for us to do that. You know, that's the capitalism way. But a lot of people don't think about it like that, you know, because we're trained to be workers and not owners. You know, we got to get out of that mindset, in my personal opinion. So like I said, when you think about it, it's just another way of borrowing money. So when it comes down to it, you know, the business models and a lot of things with, you know, which is smart with a lot of the Indian family community, they open up franchises where the business model is already there. You just got to have the right mindset and the right capital to go forward and whatnot. Like heck, even sometimes some of these franchises will actually allow you to open it up. You just have to go to a part of the country where you don't want to go. Like I remember going to a franchise convention 2 years ago, and I remember that 7-Eleven was actually going to pay for people to move to parts of upstate New York. I think it was Buffalo. and they was going to open up the 7-Eleven for them as long as they lived in that area, for free. So these are the things to look into. Now, I don't know if that deal's still there on the table. That was 2 years ago, but it's just something to think about if you're thinking about even getting into the franchisee side of the business. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. That's how a lot of times people who immigrate to the U.S. end up in these small towns or these more rural parts of the United States, because it's like, hey, well, if you buy into this business, you move to this state, hey, we'll take care of this for you. We'll take care of moving expenses. We'll waive the franchise fees. So, hey, to me, it's a sweet deal. Doesn't mean you got to do it forever, no, but you just dedicate your life, a couple of years of your life to something, and you see where it goes, taking that risk, getting outside of the comfort zone. And with places like Subways and 7-Elevens, franchises like that, overhead is way smaller compared to running a major hotel. So it's like, the risk isn't as bad depending on how you look at it, So if successful, your business or businesses can obtain more not only business equity, but business credit. I myself have business credit cards. So you can get just not only a personal credit card, but a business credit card, and you can borrow against that and show actual history of your business, not only making money, but of your business establishing business credit by obviously utilizing your business credit cards for business reasons and paying your debts off, and then you establish business credit just like you establish personal credit, and that's another avenue for you to use leverage with. It's just another way of looking at it, good old, and it helps you even create more assets so that you can have more collateral, so that you can borrow more, so that you can grow more. It's just that crazy simple one-on-one aspects in business. There's way more to it than that. I just get into the one-on-one aspects of it, and then you go from there, But that's how I look at it. You create more assets, not only for one person, but for everyone and generations to come within your family. That's the power of family. And I wish members of my family would get on that train, but that's another story for another day. So if you get anything from this video, please just keep this in mind. With the right knowledge, the right mindset, and the right implementation plan, you and your family can build mountains that you've never thought you could build. And always remember, if you want to be able to have some sort of a home-based business and buy gold to have assets at the same time, sign up with my Karatbars International family. It's free, no monthly fees. You can buy your own different packages, buy a certain amount of gold that you want a month or not, and then go from there. And once you sign up, I will inbox you or give you a call, and we can have a conversation so we can keep currency within the circle with one another. And obviously, before I end every video off, remember, you can't get fired if you own the company. It's time for somebody to own something, all right? It's 2020, and with today's pandemic going on, we have no choice. So hopefully you guys like the video. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. Check out the online store so you can not only get some good products, but support the small family businesses all at the same time with Larry's Anything Goes. And hopefully you guys have a great day. Take care.